What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guy. Today we are talking about go bags, ready bags, EDC go bags, truck bags, whatever you want to call it. This is mine. It is from Sniper Tactical Africa. So I want to talk to you about this backpack before I show you what's inside it. The go bag or urban survival bag is kind of like, I saw it on a recent video, your bug out bag's little brother. This is a hours, not days. This is a bag that's like an emergency backpack. Some people keep it in their vehicles. I have two vehicles, so it's a bit of a schlep to transport it between two vehicles. So I keep it in my house. But this bag for me is, I'm not going to be using it on everyone, right? This is like, my dad phones me, son, sister was in a car accident. They're so and so distance away. Can you get there? I'm going to say, right, phone the police, phone the paramedics, phone the police, and I'm on my way there. And this is to help with that environment. You're driving on the road, you see a vehicle accident happen, and you decide you're going to get involved. I'm not saying you must, but if you decide that, this is where this pack comes in. It's not an EDC backpack, as in you carry it with the everyday, and the things in here aren't specifically EDC. They're not also totally medical or tactical. They have various purposes. I'm going to talk to you a bit about radios, not like trying to contact a special task force or be super urban grey man special forces. No, it's just to communicate with someone, but I'll explain in a second. And that's where this bag comes in. Now, this particular bag is one that I would also grab if for whatever reason I needed to grab my plate carrier. Now, I actually saw, I'm digressing a bit, but we'll get to the bag in a second. I actually saw a video, not a video, I was advised that people say plate carriers don't work because they take too long to put on. I don't know what plate carriers people are talking about. I want to give you an example. Like, work with me here. Imagine you live in a double-story house. You sleep on top, kids sleep at the bottom. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You hear a glass break. Okay? What you're generally going to do, and what I would do, most people, I would imagine, get up, put on a pair of pants, shoes maybe, go down and see what's happening as quickly as you possibly can, of course, because your kids are down below. Now, statistics show that when a house break-in situation happens, there's generally 5 people, four as an entry team, 1 as a getaway driver. So potentially, run the risk of having 4 people downstairs, okay? On that pants that you put on might just be your everyday carry firearm inside of a holster. Now, if you grab this as you're walking out of your bedroom door, right, I'm going to take my cap for this so I don't sleep with the cap on. I want you to time yourself and be honest, right? Could I put this plate carrier on quicker than what you could put your pants on? Okay, let's say the plate carrier is sitting like this, which I would does sit in my particular house. So don't cheat. From the time I move to put this plate carrier on, you have the time to put on a pants. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, guys, modern plate carriers can be put on in what, a second, 2 seconds, quicker than most people can put on a pair of shoes, quicker than most people can put on a pair of pants. Okay, so does the everyday carrier, the EDC civilian, need this? I think there's a lot of things that we can argue what the need and the want is, right? But the everyday carry philosophy, one of the cornerstones of the EDC philosophy is to have and not need, rather than need and not have. And if you're in South Africa, given the current climate, what's going on in Durban, especially what has gone on, if you still don't think you need this, or you should have it, I don't know. If you're a farmer, for example, if you live on a big piece of land and you hear something by your vehicle, right? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Phone the cops, now you hear a glass break. If you go investigate, it takes like, literally you saw 1.5 seconds and it's on. And you're good to go. Coincidentally, this bag does interface really nicely with this pack, which is why this would be the bag that if I were to ever use this pack, is the pack that I would use it with. Because that works quite nicely. Plate carrier, it's a story for another day, but I've been getting a lot of people talking to me about this kind of thing, saying, doesn't work. Trust me, if you had 4 guys shooting at you, you're going to wish you had a plate carrier on. Now, onto the backpack. I'm going to take you through a sort of a top-down view, as I always do with backpacks, and we're going to talk about what's inside it. This, like I said, is not a medical bag, it's not a survival bag. Everyone's going to be different. If you live on the farm, for example, you might need more gear in here than what I have. I live in the city. I can't throw a stone without hitting a house or a building. So I'm not going to be making fires, sleeping under a tarp, that sort of thing. That's a different type deal. That's a bug out bag for me personally. But if you live out in the sticks, maybe you want to consider that for if you are inside of your vehicle, or if you are going a distance from your home. This is, I don't know, me and my dad's driving and we see a freaking house on fire and we're like, let's get involved. That kind of deal, hours, not days. And it's just, if you are the intermediary between when the situation happened and when emergency services arrive, that's this pack. Let's switch the view and I'll take you through it. Okay guys, something I want to remind you of is that this bag doesn't take the place of your EDC medical pouch. This is the Helicon Tex Mini EDC pouch from Cerberus Tactical Outfitters. The link is popping up in your screen. I've done reviews of all these pouches and what's in it. So if you want to check that out, you can also check it out via the links at the end of the video. This is the Taakmag First Responder Med pouch. More suited for your battle belt. Also did a full review of it. And then I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I did a review of the D-Tactical Rapid Access ITK, which is this right here, as well as what's in it. So go and check those videos out if you want to see what I have in there. But this bag doesn't replace these things. Those are things you still have to carry with you in certain environments. Let's get rid of this and we'll talk about this. Okay, so the bag itself is the Sniper Africa EDC backpack. Proudly made here in South Africa. It's a really cool pack. I don't know if you can see, it's got like a ripstop pattern going on there, so it's only ripped to one of those small hexagons. So very cool design. I'm going to take you through what's outside and what's inside. I'm going to take everything out of the bag and show you first and foremostly trauma shears. This is exactly what it is. It's just webbed through this molly webbing on the outside. Then we've got one of these paracord bracelets, which is 90% gimmick, right? But the 10% that isn't a gimmick is 5% is if you cut the sucker right there or right there, right on that particular piece of cord, this unravels to be one long piece of paracord, which is quite nice. If you cut it anywhere else, game's over. Also, it's got a whistle, which is good for signaling, right? So everything else, fire starter, compass, it's all quite gimmicky, but they're inexpensive. And then this little tool here is from Buck Seatbelt Cutter. That little edge there, put it on the inside of a seatbelt, this will rip a seatbelt out or cut the seatbelt. So obviously, if it's a vehicle accident, you might want to get someone out of the vehicle or at least remove the seatbelt. Coming around to this side, you've got mesh webbing as well as compression straps. I'll just remove those. We have the Olight Freya. This isn't so much for the light capability because I do carry my own flashlight, but it's more for the signaling capability. So you've got blue, red and green. I'll leave it on blue. So put this in the road, whatever the case may be, and people will see that for quite a distance. To you, it's looking like it's white, but you can see it's blue because of the lights I have around. And then this headlamp is from JetBeam South Africa. This is a very cool headlamp. It's called the HP30. What I like about it is you'll see there's two buttons, focus, a power button and what looks like a Wi-Fi button. Okay, if you put that on, right, the headlamp now is motion activated, which I quite like. So if you need to work hands-free and need to go on and off with that, especially in a tactical environment where gunfire is playing a role, you don't want to have a headlamp that is illuminating your head. So having it on while you're working, just flick your hands around to it, putting it off is very, very cool. This is available from JetBeam SA. It has two modes, high, low, and then also this map reading mode, which can also be a signaling mode. Very, very cool little headlamp. Definitely check them out. I'll leave everything I show where I name a supplier, I'll leave them linked down below. This is just a roll of paracord. This actually glows in the dark, which is quite cool. Cordage, I mean, to hold the splint in place. You can make a makeshift sling for someone's broken arm. If you got a broken finger, you can use this to wrap around the other fingers to make like a splint type deal. Millions of uses for cordage. It's easy to carry, it's light. No reason not to have it. And then a high visibility vest. Quite simple. Any hardware store you can get this. This is, if it is an accident type situation or an emergency type situation and you decide to get involved, having a high visibility vest just tells passerbyers as well as emergency services that there is someone willing to assist. Also, if it is a vehicle accident and it's at night, having this is going to make you more visible to oncoming vehicles. Okay, that's the outside. As you can see, these straps have this Velcro piece that ties them all together, so you don't have a lot of loose straps laying around. I'm going to open everything for you and take everything out. You also have your gear patch area right there. So onto the inside, there's two compartments, one there and one there, well, two main compartments. The first compartment opens like sort of your clamshell situation, right? We've got a see-through panel here. What I like about this panel is it can open from, this is why I like it can open from the bottom. So if the bottom gets stuck for whatever reason like I just did, it can open from the top as well, same panel. So inside here, guys, remember this is more for, I'm going to be honest, this is not going to save anyone's life. Well, potentially you could, but this is more for assistance, right? So just bear that in mind. We've got some gauze, can never have enough gauze. We've got an emergency poncho. So this can be used as a blanket, but also can be used as a, so it has a hood. You lose a lot of your body through your head. You can become hypothermic even in warmer climates if you lose a lot of blood. So an emergency poncho is basically an emergency blanket with a hood, which I really like. Salox applicator, this is with granules. This is like a syringe type situation. The reason I like this for this pack is, again, if it's vehicle orientated, you might not be able to get perfectly into where that bleed is. Having the applicator, gives you added mobility and reach. But guys, as always with medical, use it carefully because, as I've always said, you mess up, you are in trouble. Okay, burn shield or burn dressing. This is more someone burnt their hand on trying to open the radiator, whatever the case may be. I don't know. This isn't going to save your life, right? If you have life-threatening burns, this is not going to save your life. And then these two things, eye patch, again, vehicle-related, splints and things go flying. So having that, and then just an emergency bandage from the guys at the Recon Medical, which is what it says it is. It's an emergency bandage. Okay, then let's fold that down. You've got a mesh pocket here. Inside of this pocket, tourniquet, standard tourniquet. I believe it's also Recon Medical in one of these Fieldcraft survival tourniquet holders. I really like this. These are on my website if you want to check it out. Then here, some contention. I have a rapid application tourniquet, a RATS tourniquet. Now, I know that there's a lot of negativity around this, but just work with me. You get to an accident scene and there's kids or whatever the case may be. These tend to work a bit better because this one has like a minimum diameter that it can occlude or tighten on, whereas this doesn't, but you need to know what you are doing, right? So this, I would generally go for this first, but if it's kids, canines, animals, whatever the case may be, there is a place for this, but secondarily, okay? A flashlight. As I've said, I generally carry a flashlight with me. The reason this flashlight's in here is for whatever reason, if someone else needs a flashlight, or I forgot my flashlight at home that day. The reason I'm using the Olight M1T Raider Plus is it's got two very simple modes, high and low, uses two CR123A batteries, which you can leave in the flashlight and won't discharge over time. Rechargeable batteries tend to just discharge over time, so yeah. That's why I chose that particular light. A pen, doesn't really matter what kind of pen, for writing reasons. Inside here, we have some tape. I'm out of duct tape for some other reason, so I've got some insulation tape in here. But again, like I said, this bag is not the bag I'm sort of carrying on my person every single day. And then a all-weather notebook. for obvious reasons. You might want to make a note, you might want to give a number, you might want to take someone's details, that sort of thing. So that's what that is for. Then there's another sleeve right there. Inside of this sleeve, pair of gloves, obvious reasons, hot, cold, sharp, right? If you need to, I'm going to use the car accident reference quite often, but if you need to move something that is super hot, super cold, or has sharp edges, glass, that kind of deal, if you need to grab onto the edge of a door where the glass, where the window's broken, gloves, rip that door, whatever the case may be. These are like $70 at the hardware store. They got nice, grippy, thick, rubberized palm areas. No reason not to have that. And then there's another sleeved section right there. Inside here, I have a respirator. So if it's not vehicle related, if it's fire related, I don't know, you're running into a burning building or a burning house, for whatever reason, maybe you're at a mall, a gas station, whatever the case may be, and something happens and your loved one is inside. I just want to say, guys, I'm not using this for anyone. I know it sounds harsh, but I'm saving my loved ones here. If I come across a vehicle accident and I'm compelled to stop, I might use some of these things, but I'm more than likely going to contact emergency services and have them come. If it gets to a point where something has to be done, I might get involved. But this is if my dad phones me and she says my sister was in an accident or their house is on fire or they were in a mall and the mall is burning, that kind of deal. I'm only using this bag itself for people I love. I know it sounds harsh, but it's generally kind of true, just because of the legalities around it. So a respirator, always good to have. And then also in here should be, a spare filter for said respirator. Okay. Ventus respirators, I'll leave them linked. They make these respirators. They're available out here in South Africa. Very, very cool. I know a few emergency services guys and search and rescue guys who are using these. So very, very cool respirator. Okay, that's everything in this section. That's sort of the main section of this pack, right? We'll get to the midsection now. Now the second piece only opens down till here. So sorry that you're not going to be able to see in it perfectly. I'll do my best. Right, I'll open it all the way. Okay, so boo-boo pouch, ouchie pouchy, right? This is, we've got things in here, plasters, small bandages, pain tablets, glue, steady strips, that kind of thing. This is if someone is mildly or slightly injured, the baby's crying in the back because they got the cut in the finger, but their mother is bleeding. I can give this to Michelle or whatever and say, just put the plaster on that. Shush them or whatever the case may be, that sort of thing. Always good to have something like this. Communications, really, really inexpensive two-way radios, like these things, guys. These things are super inexpensive, and this isn't for me to communicate with the special task force or whatever. This is, if it is, say, for example, a fire situation, and I run in and I say, Michelle, this is yours, this is mine. Communicate with me. Or if Michelle stays in the car and I don't go, this has got about a 5-kilometer radius. Guys, these things are a few $100. No reason not to have it. They're cheap, they're small, the battery lasts for ages. Just know the limitations thereof. But they really do give you extra capability. I don't know how long this has been in here, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the power aid thing is already, images are already wearing off. Sugar, energy. People who experience trauma often need some kind of sugar to assist them. This is what this is. And then that's all that's in there. Then you've got a zipped, sorry, I can't show this very well. You've got a zipped pouch over here, and inside of here, you've got a buff. Again, fire, whatever the case may be, wet this, and someone else can then use it if you're using the respirator. And just some more sugar and munchies so that people can get something in. And even for me, so guys, this is also for me to be able to use. If I get stuck on the road or something like that, or something happens to me or Michelle, I might need this for her. And then in the back, if I have time, we've got a camelback style thing with a bladder that goes through the bag, comes out the back, that then goes through the shoulder harness, and there you go. And that is for for me to use, basically, for me to remain hydrated if I have time. But I generally always take a water bottle with me wherever I go. So guys, as you can see, quite a lot of gear. But like I said, this pack is your bug out bag's little brother. The things in here are not things I use every day. This is, like I said, something that I will take with me if I ever have to use my plate carrier. So this bag integrates very nicely with the plate carrier, and then I'll have all this gear on me. Anything I have shown that I can link, I will link down below. Let's switch the camera and we can end off. Okay guys, so that's the bag, that's what I have in it. It's generally just chucked into my car, or it's basically at my door of my bedroom, standing behind the door, grab and go type situation. Two things I do want to point out is I do usually carry one of these glass breaker style pens. So I don't have a glass breaker in the bag because I generally always have one with me. And then I generally also always have my Leatherman Scully tool, which is why I don't have a multi-tool in the bag. Guys, remember, if you are going to use this kind of thing on a person, there is the potential for you to get into a lot of trouble. Like I said, people will sue you if you're trying to save their lives. Make sure you know exactly what you're doing before you attempt something like that. So guys, that is it. Be safe. I'll see you in the week for a vlog, and I'll see you next week for a review. If you like this kind of thing, guys, please consider subscribing. I make an EDC related gear video every single Sunday. That's it, guys. Be safe, train hard. Cheers. God bless.